Celestial Stripes is a wonderful, versatile beginner quilt. It's easy and quick to sew, it's modern, it works with nearly every collection, and you need just one jelly roll and some background fabric.
Hello, Brigitte of Zen Chic here. Let's talk about stripes today, to be precise about Celestial Stripes, one of my latest pattern releases. This pattern is great for beginners, and even old hands will love it because it has a myriad of possibilities, variations of layout settings and sizes, and the pattern works with almost every fabric collection. It can even serve as a scrap buster. And in addition, I'll show you two great expert tips that you might not know yet, so stay tuned for that.
Celestial Stripes is very easy to sew and it needs only one simple block. But this one simple block gives you a myriad of layout options. Well, I could even use this block for a table runner or a pillow. Besides the many layout variations you can play with, it allows also for different sizes. Go with the center alone, use a pale fresh color scheme, and get the cutest baby quilt in a week in. Now add a solid border, maybe change the colors, and get a stylish throw for your couch. Insert a decorative piece narrow strip and a second solid border, and you get a bed-size quilt. You see, you can always play with the size of your border to make the quilt match your needs. The quilt works with nearly any fabric collection. I made it with my collections Juggling Summer, Flow, and with my new in stores collection Celestial. It would also look fantastic in black and white with a rust insert strip, and in bright colors as here with my spotted collection. Now let me demonstrate the sewing technique. I said that you can make the quilt center quite quickly. Bulk cutting and chain piecing are the magic words. A jelly roll gives you already pre-cut strips of 2.5 inches, so you only have to split these strips into segments. You can stack a couple of strips and cut through them all in one step. I have a new rotary blade inserted and stacked 6 strips here. Now with a perpendicular cut at one end, I trim off the selvages. Now I do my first cut, my second, my third, my fourth, and now I'm done with cutting all pieces for 6 blocks. This is your block assembly layout. The longer strips on the side, the contrasting middle strip, and a little square which will be flipped over. Now you sew along with a 1/4 inch seam. Let's go to the sewing machine and start with chain piecing these units. Once you have added the little square to the contrasting center strip, you will flip over the upper strip and join both pieces with a 1/4 inch seam. Here's my tip for sewing strip sets together. As you feed both layers of fabric through the machine, the bottom layer of fabric will be caught by the teeth of the sewing machine feeder, while the top layer of fabric slides under a smooth foot. With long seams, you need then a lot of pins, or it can happen that you end up with a misalignment. Let me show you a trick to avoid this. Start the seam by first securing both layers with a few stitches. Then line up the ends, holding them tight with your fingertips and holding these two ends the entire way as you saw the strip set. Your strip set ends perfectly aligned. It even works for strip sets 1 yard and longer. Another tip is take good care of the end of a seam. When you have just a straight seam and it comes to the end, we sometimes just let the seam go its way for the last inches. But the sewing piece tends to move a bit towards the side if you leave it alone, and this can cause an uneven seam allowance, which then even looks a bit like a curve. Instead, give your sewing piece a firm guidance until the end of the seam. You might even get more slowly. See, on the right we have a guided seam with an accurate result, and on the left we have a sloppy result. If you open this up, you can clearly see a wavy edge which does not longer meet the desired measurements, while the right seam worked out perfectly. These were my bow special tips on a blog every beginner can easily sew. It's fun and satisfying to get a bunch of blocks together in a short amount of time. For the quilting, I recommend a medium scale edge-to-edge pantograph. It gives you a texture, but doesn't distract from the modern simplicity of your quilt center. I hope you had as much fun with this quilt as I had creating it. See you next time around.